Good morning, Starlight fans. So we're on the way again. We just left Jepara Beach Marina on the island of Java. One of our favourite little stops, although we've never spent a lot of time here. But the family that runs Jepara Marina, Chris, Lex and Gina, are just the most beautiful people, and they will help you. If you have issues, they will help you get it sorted out. And because Jakarta is on the island of Java, you can get pretty much anything shipped to them, through them, and with their help. And they're not expensive, guys. Just lovely people. You can get fuel here as well. They have a little marina, and the fuel's very good price and very good quality, and they pre-filter it. Once it comes out of their storage tank, it goes through a filtration system before they even put it in your jerry cans. And I saw yesterday a boat called Holdfast with Brian on board. G'day, Brian. They actually delivered 400 litres to his boat. So yeah, that was quite a feat for them to do all that. Anyway, we're underway. We're heading north from Jepara. We've got a little bit of a southerly breeze, which is nice, and we're going to go about 3 bays north, about 7 or 8 miles, then anchor up there. Normally I'd go further than that in the day, but there's nowhere past there for another 60 odd nautical miles, and even then that anchorage is dubious. So we're going to go and stage here tonight, 7 miles north of Jepara, just to reduce tomorrow's trip, where we only have to do 60 to go to that dubious anchorage. And if it turns out that anchorage tomorrow is not suitable, well, we'll just have to keep sailing through the night, and then probably through the next day and through the next night to get down to Bali. We just don't really have a lot of choices. At the moment, in the afternoons, the wind has been swinging into the north at up to 20 odd knots. And anything along the north coast of Java has been trashed, I imagine. Certainly it was pretty ordinary here at Jepara. Alright, I'll quickly show you on the map where we're going. So that's us there. There we go. We've just come out of Jepara Beach, or Jepara Bay. The little resorty marina thing is kind of right about here. We're just going to thread our way through all the fishing nets, blah blah blah, and come up north and poke our way into this little bay in here. And I'm hoping that there won't be too many nets and fish traps and all that we'll actually be able to anchor. If not, we'll have to bail back and come into here, and, well, you know, lesson learned. I don't see on Zulu Waterways anyone anchoring up there, and I don't see anything on Navionics. In this part of the world, you know, the anchorages are not really commonly used, and not commonly recorded either. But it looks alright on the charts. Let's go find out. As we make our entrance into this bay here, which I don't see a name for, but it's near Tanjung, Piring. So we're going to come in here, but there are fish structures absolutely everywhere. I don't know if you can see them. On our way through here last year, we actually ended up trying to get in here in the dark in the middle of a thunderstorm with our buddy boat Astrid, and that was a nightmare because there's just so much fishing structure everywhere. But here in the daytime, I think we'll be able to manage navigating our way in and finding somewhere to anchor, and hopefully get us out of that northeasterly wind, it's norwesterly wind that we expect. Norwesterly, it'd be more a northwesterly that we expect later in the afternoon, which has been here the last 3 days. So we're just going to do a sail by of one of these, I don't know what they are, fishing structures of some kind. If you do know, put something in the comments, let us know. Anyway, we are just going to do a little sail by so I can get him on video for you, and we're going to basically thread our way through all these guys until we find somewhere to anchor, as far into the bay as I can possibly go. That's a typical structure there of what we're facing here, north coast of Java, up around the Jepara Beach area. They're not hard to navigate around, certainly not in the daytime, but in the night time, you hit one of those, you'll be sorry. Take your rig off. Anyway, daytime is not too bad. We'll find our way in, and we'll find somewhere to anchor probably. I had difficulty getting the sail up today. It was kind of sticky, so I thought, oh, maybe I need to get some silicone on the sail track or something, and that didn't help. But I did get the sail up testing once we anchored. And then when I went to lower it, I noticed that the top slide at the head of the mainsail was completely free off the track, which is not good. So I brought it down, and that's the slide that goes onto the main track on the main mast. And what's happened, I've just sprayed it with some degreaser just to make sure it's nice and clean. What's happened here is the little notches that keep it attached to the track on the main mast have all broken. I have no idea why, but I've taken it off, and of course, because it's the head of the sail, it's probably the best possible place, or maybe the worst, I'm not sure. Either way, we can still set the head sail, sorry, the main sail, but it doesn't bring the head of the sail in nice and tight, which means the leech is going to be no good, and you know, we're going to get a lot less drive out of that sail than we used to get. The problem is getting a new part like that here in Indonesia is going to be a real challenge, if it's even possible. The main sail is still setting okay, even without that slide at the top of the head. Don't know if we'll be able to zoom in on that. We'll give it a shot. It's setting okay, but obviously these are ideal conditions, and I'm sure it's not ideal to have the sail like that. I'm sure there was a slide at the top for a reason. Anyway, Tan's really clever idea was to contact Chris at Jepara and see if they had access to an aluminium welder. We may be able to weld the lugs, or new lugs, onto that slide and get that slide working again. It also requires some little ball bearings, but I'm sure that that can be arranged. So we reached out to Chris, and he replied immediately. He said, yep, bring it down here. I'm sure we've got someone who can sort it out for me. There's a really broad reach, almost a run for the breeze. About 10 knots behind us, maybe 12, maybe a touch over, yeah. And running straight downwind into the anchorage at Jepara, which means that the wind is blowing straight into the anchorage at Jepara, basically. But that's what we're going to have to put up with for the next couple of days. Hopefully the wind is going to be lighter today than it was yesterday. Yesterday afternoon we had 20 knots coming straight into the anchorage, but it was safe enough. We had 65 metres out in 4 metres of water. You know, we weren't going anywhere, but it just wasn't particularly comfortable. You can see the top of the mainsail there is, even without that track slide, is still setting quite well. So it's not a showstopper for us. If we can't get the part fixed here, or it's, you know, the fix is unsuccessful, it's not a showstopper. We should still be able to continue. Yeah. Of course, if the wind's blowing really hard, that might be a different story. It's all very well to test something in perfect ideal conditions like this, but I think it'll be alright anyway. We came back to Jepara, and we're sitting here in the little bar restaurant at Jepara Beach Marina. Wind's still blowing on shore, a bit over 10 knots. So we'll go back to the boat now just to keep an eye on her. We've seen Chris. We brought the part in. He brought his engineering, John, explained the issue, gave him the drawings, measurements as best we can, all the photos, and he's taken that off now to aluminium welding place to try and get some aluminium welding put on it that we will probably have to file down once we get it on the boat to make it fit the track properly. But it's only aluminium, so we should be able to do it. So now we're forced to stay here at Jepara for 2 more nights, I think. Oh, what a shame. It's just gorgeous here. And if that northerly wind drops out maybe tonight or tomorrow we might come and eat in the restaurant here, because the food's pretty damn good and the prices are pretty reasonable. So yeah, quite excited about maybe having, I don't know, Tan, maybe spaghetti bolognese. She likes that. I saw a ribeye steak there, but I don't know. Maybe the budget doesn't go that far. I might have something else. Fish and chips. I like fish and chips. Maybe we'll do that. Anyway, we're going to go back to the boat now, cook ourselves some lunch, save a bit of money, and just wait and hear about this part. You know, again, I couldn't say enough nice things about Chris here at Jepara. If you are passing this way, definitely stop by, and if you need help, reach out to the guys. I'll put his phone number in the link so you can WhatsApp him if you need help down this way. It's a long way from anything, so you know, to have someone on your side really, really helps. We had it welded, got some little lugs put on it. You can see there, they'll need to be filed back to fit the track, and we have some more bearings that we can put inside, some more ball bearings, which hopefully will solve that problem. And I thought that's what we'd be able to fix here, but at the bottom of this track there's a stopper which has two stainless bolts going into the mast. We got one of them out, but the other one just wouldn't budge, and unfortunately the engineer managed to strip it, and so leaving us with very few options. And I didn't feel confident that he really understood enough about sailboats and how they work together. Like he didn't know that stainless and aluminium wouldn't go together, they'd need some kind of barrier, all this kind of stuff. So in the end I decided, look, just stop what you're doing. We can still sail the boat. We'll sail it back to Lombok, where I can hopefully get stainless steel and get some other yachts around with some more knowledge, and hopefully we'll be able to get that screw out. Once I get the screw out, I can get the rest of the slides off, fit the new slide, get all the slides back on again, put the stopper back on, good to go. So it's a little bit later in the morning than we usually get going. It's 8:45. We're going to sail north to an anchorage just at the 3 bays north of Jepara, and set the pick up there, and that'll be our first stop for tonight. Well, it's nice to be back under sail again. You know, when we're stuck somewhere, it's just the antithesis of cruising. You know, I want to be voyaging and exploring new places, not stuck somewhere waiting for something to happen. So it's well, not very depressing, but it's depressing to be there. Anyway, we're on the move again. We're heading north from Jepara, going north to a bay that I don't know the name for, but I think it was Tanjung Piring was the name of the point. Yeah, we're just going to zip up past here. Whoop. Yeah, we just did an accidental drive, light winds. So we're going to come up here, through there, and into this little bay up in here, and anchor right where the M is, right up in that little bay there. I'm about to turn the corner, and once I do turn the corner, I can set that headsail as well, and we can just do a very broad reach down to that bay. We sailed the pick out this morning. We didn't need it, but we will use it as we come into the bay further up, because of the number of fish structures and nets and floats and bamboo sticks sticking out of the water. So it'd just be a lot easier than trying to manoeuvre around them under sail, especially running before the wind. So tacking up, we did it on the way out. We sailed out and tacked our way up through. It wasn't too bad, but running downwind is a little bit harder. So you'll see a lot of flags and floats like this, literally in clouds, as you're sailing along the Indo and Malaysian coast. There's a variety of stuff under the water, but generally we found that these guys go straight down, sometimes to a fish trap at the bottom of the ocean with a line attached, and sometimes to a line to a fish trap that then has a number of fish traps attached to that, running to another flag further along, and sometimes to a net, but they're rarely a surface net. So what we found is if we get up close to it and just have a look, you can usually see if there's a surface net. If there is, then we bear away. If not, we just continue over the top. Well, when you got little fish, I guess, you attract all the birds. coming back from their night's fishing. I don't know whether they got anything. Must have got something. Pretty rough, these boats, eh? So we haven't used the engine today. That's kind of nice. I really prefer not to whenever possible. Saves wear and tear, saves me diesel, saves me having to fix it, and I don't trust it. I only trust sailing. So we're just going to sail the Picky, and all I'm going to do is we're running pretty much dead downwind at the moment towards our anchor point. Then I'm just going to basically round up. When I round up, I'll ditch the mainsail. The boat's way will slowly come off. When she comes to a stop, I'll lay the anchor out, and we'll let her fall back and just pay out some chain as we go. So we're nearly there. I'll put her on video for you just in case you want to see that stuff. Dead easy to do, especially when conditions are like this. I don't always do it. You know, I do it when it's favourable.